This is Old School here. Today we're studying (1778) Treaty of Fort Pitt, U.S. treaty making with the Lenape Nation. You know, they was also called the Delaware Indians because when they had this Revolutionary War, they uh, they wanted to attack England going west in Detroit. So they had to make a treaty with these Indians. Let's read it. Let's read it. Let's read this. In 1778, after news came from France that the Treaty of Amity and Commerce and the Treaty of Alliance had been secured, the Continental Army planned to march forces, went and attacked the British. The Continental forces planned, I'm going to read it from the computer. It's too confusing to read off my phone. In 1778, after news came from France that the Treaty of Amity and Commerce and the Treaty of Alliance had been secured, the Continental Army planned to march forces west and attack the British at Detroit. But the route crossed Lenape territory in the Ohio Valley. The United States appointed brothers Andrew and Thomas Lewis as official diplomats to secure permission from the Lenape to cross through their lands. Congress appropriated a whopping $10,000 for goods and gifts to the Lenape leaders to show the United States goodwill. There's no goodwill. That was a payoff. We don't want y'all to kill us while we going after the British, so we're going to give you some. What's going on here? Okay, now here's the picture of a Lenape Indian. They say, all these pictures are whitewashed. They take the Africanoid features out. A Delaware Indian, they say, which is tomahawk and scalping knife. Now, contrary to popular opinion, most of the scalping was done by the Europeans because they was paid for the scalps. I think it was $5 a scalp. $5 was a lot of money in those days. What would the Indians get out of scalping somebody? Nobody was paying him for that. They just lying. Okay, now I'm going to read a little bit here. And I'm going to stop when I see something that don't add up. I can't keep going when I see cross. When my God mind come across something that don't make a bit of sense, I got to stop reading. The treaty making process. Well, let's read this heading under the picture. European countries made contact with the Lenape nation in the 17th century, negotiating treaties and trade agreements. The racialized 1766 English drawing. See, they're admitting that this is a racialized English drawing. A Delaware Indian with the tomahawk scalping knife, depicting the stereotypical white European propaganda that Native American poses a threat to European colonization of North America. Yeah, they had to say that because they couldn't justify the slaughter. You know, when you want to justify a slaughter, you always have to say that somebody posed a threat. You feel unsafe. When the only one who's a threat is you. You the one carrying the gun, and you talking about you feel unsafe, and the other person is not armed. Did that make any sense? And you feel unsafe, but you got a weapon. The treaty making process. In September, the U.S. diplomats met with Kothega Kota, and I can't pronounce that because y'all robbed my language from me. It's called White Eyes. Gilman, John Kilbuck Jr., and Coniscohill or Hopkins Captain Pipe at Fort Pitt in western Pennsylvania to begin negotiations. All right, now check this paragraph how it starts up. No one is certain which language the Lenape Americans spoke during the negotiations, but it was most likely a mixture of Algonquin dialect and English. Hogwash. Somebody knows something is being hidden in that sentence. Whenever you see that phrase, no one is certain which language. No one is certain. No, they're hiding something. You mean you can produce a picture from back there and all these records you was keeping, all this detailed information, that you even got the spelling of the name of the Indians, and you don't know what language was spoken? What are you hiding? I'm thinking it was Arabic. I think these are Moors. They are Moors. They are Moors. They were speaking Arabic because Europeans spoke Arabic. The so-called Indians, which you named them to try to make them your property, they spoke Arabic. But they won't confess that here. They say no one is certain which language the Lenape Americans spoke. Now look the next sentence or the next clause. They say no one is certain which language the Lenape Americans spoke during the negotiation. And then they contradict themselves. Then they say, but it was most likely a mixture of Algonquin dialects and English. Now, if you say you don't know which language, if you say no one is certain which language, how can you come back? How can you come back and suggest a language that favors your side? You just said in the first clause, the independent clause, that no one is certain which language. And then you have to, when you say but, but contradicts the rest of the sentence. So you see so he's making a contradiction very openly right here. Whenever you say but, you're saying I just lied. So he's confessing no one is certain which language the Lenape and English the Lenape and American spoke during the negotiation. It's a lie. But in most likely a mixture of Algonquin dialect and English. But both communicated during the diplomatic tools that had been established. between native nations and European nations with the American colonists had been a part. When the American colonists had been a part of the British Empire. Now, the only widely spoken language during that period was Arabic, because the Moors ruled the country. Now, I'm not speaking of. Now, it may not have been Arabic. It may have been Latin, because Moorish Latin was the language of the Moors, not the Arabic of today. But it may have been a mixture of both of them, Arabic, Moorish Latin. The American diplomats greeted the Lenape counterparts. Okay, I'm back. Uh-oh. Well, I'm going to end it because my computer crashed on me.